Hello students, this is Bijay sir, your chemistry teacher. Today I have made a video for the students of class 9th. The topic of this video is evaporation under the chapter matter in our surrounding. Dear students, in my previous video I have discussed with you many processes of change of states of matter. We have discussed melting, freezing. We have discussed boiling or vaporization, condensation, sublimation. These all are the processes of change of states of matter. Evaporation, which we have to discuss today, is also a process of change of states of matter. But this is a process of change of states of matter which takes place on its own. The processes which we have read in the previous videos did not take place on its own. We have learned the conditions for the process to take place. But evaporation is a special process of change of states of matter from liquid to gas, from liquid to vapor on its own. Right? So, we can define evaporation as the phenomenon of change of a liquid into vapor. Conversion of liquid into vapor at any temperature below its boiling point. As the liquid reaches its boiling point, it is not called an evaporation. It is called boiling or vaporization. So below the boiling point of liquid changes into vapor on its own. It is called evaporation. And that we have to clear the difference between boiling and evaporation. Generally, the students confused with these two processes. Boiling is a bulk phenomenon. I have discussed it in the previous video that boiling is a bulk phenomenon in which the liquid particles goes to change into vapor in the bulk of the liquid. But evaporation is a surface phenomenon. Evaporation does not take place from whole of the liquid body. This process, this phenomenon occurs, takes place on the surface of the liquid. Right? Therefore, it is called surface phenomenon. What happens actually? Evaporation. Why we call evaporation is a surface phenomenon? Because the particles of a liquid present on the surface gain energy. From where the particles of liquid present on the surface can gain energy? So we know the liquid particles are constantly moving. They collide with one another. As well as they collide with the gaseous particles of the atmosphere and gains energy. The liquid particles present on the surface gains energy from the gaseous particles in its surrounding as well as the liquid particles with which they collide constantly due to constant and random motion of the liquid particles. The gain energy and then the particles on the surface of the liquid have high energy. They have reached the higher kinetic energy so that these particles can overcome the intermolecular force, the interparticle force between the liquid particles and then leave the surface of the liquid. Clear? Few examples from our day-to-day life we can discuss as the example of evaporation. All of we know water in ponds changes into liquid. Water in the ponds changes from liquid to vapor without reaching the boiling point. In river, in ponds, in our seas, in oceans, we know liquid water change into its vapor without reaching the boiling point. So, this process of change of liquid into vapor is evaporation. When we take water in an open container, when water is kept uncovered, it slowly changes into its vapor. Again, it changes slowly into its vapor without reaching the boiling point. It changes slowly into its vapor on its own. Therefore, it is evaporation. One thing we also observe daily in our day-to-day life. When we wash our clothes and we put wet clothes for drying. After washing the clothes, we people used to put wet clothes for drying. What happens? The water from the wet cloths goes to the atmosphere on its own. Therefore, it is also an example of evaporation. Friends, I hope now the term evaporation is clear to you all. Now, as the next part of the topic evaporation, we should know the factors which can affect the rate of evaporation. Here, I mean to say all liquids, all non-liquids do not change into their vapor identically. They change into their vapor differently, depending upon the conditions, depending upon the factors, different factors. Under different factors, liquids evaporate at different rate. Now, we shall make the next heading factors affecting rate of evaporation. Factors affecting rate of evaporation. Here, first of all, I would like to make you understand this term, rate of evaporation. What does rate of evaporation means? The volume of liquid converted into its vapor per unit time is called its rate of evaporation. Is it clear? Listen once again. The volume of liquid or the amount of liquid converted into its vapor per unit time, means with respect to time we calculate the amount or volume of liquid which is converted into its vapor. It is called rate of evaporation. So, there are 5 common factors, 5 important common factors which we have to discuss here under this heading, factors affecting rate of evaporation. The first factor is the nature of liquid. The first factor is the nature of liquid. As I have told you just few minutes before, nature of liquid. I have just told you before few minutes, all known liquids do not change into their vapor identically, equally. They change into their vapor differently. It means that different liquids have different rate of evaporation. This is the factor, nature of liquid. When the nature of liquid changes, the rate of evaporation changes. Here, we should know on the basis of which factor and properties of the liquids we can understand their nature, that we can understand the different nature of the liquid. The nature of the liquid is considered, nature of the liquid is nature of liquid depends on the interparticle force and interparticle space present in the liquid. Intermolecular force or interparticle force of attraction, or the gaps present between the particles of liquid decide their nature. The different liquids have different rate of evaporation, that we can write here. Different liquids have different rate of evaporation. Because of different types of different types of interparticle forces of attraction. Different types of interparticle forces of attraction in different liquids. In different liquid. Example. Here I I would like to make you understand different liquids evaporates differently with three examples by taking three different liquids as the example to compare their rate of evaporation. So we take three liquids: ether, alcohol, and water. These all are liquid at room temperature. We have read in the previous video the matter is said to be in liquid state when it is found in the liquid state at the room temperature, or if their boiling point is greater than or higher than the room temperature. The ether, alcohol and water, these are three different liquids. They have boiling point higher than room temperature. Therefore, these all liquids occur in the liquid state at room temperature. We have to know their rate of evaporation. The rate of evaporation of ether is higher than alcohol, and the rate of evaporation of alcohol is higher than water. As I state that this comparison, ether evaporates faster than alcohol, alcohol evaporates faster than water. You students naturally have a dot. What is the cause due to which these three liquids evaporates at different rate? So for that, you should know ether has a functional group O. When we shall write the formula of ether, we used to write CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3. It is called ethoxyethane. And the functional group with which alcohol is identified is OH. And example of it, an alcohol we can take CH3, CH2, OH, ethanol. And water is a very common liquid whose formula you know, HOH. This is water. Now, Here, between the molecules of alcohol, there is hydrogen bond. Due to the higher electron negativity of oxygen than hydrogen, the bond formed between hydrogen and oxygen is considered polar covalent bond, which we shall discuss in the next chapter. And similarly, here also there is hydrogen bond. So the strength of an ether has no hydrogen bond, because here oxygen is linked with carbon in ether, not oxygen is linked with hydrogen. It has no hydrogen bond. It has a hydrogen bond, intermolecular hydrogen bond, and it has a stronger hydrogen bond than alcohol. These are the factors. Therefore, we have discussed here different liquids have different rate of evaporation because of different types of interparticle forces. Here the interparticle forces between these three liquids are different, their nature are different, their strength are different, which cause them to evaporate at a different rate. This is all about the factor nature of liquid. Pause करो. The next factor which affects the rate of evaporation of liquids is the increase of surface area of the liquid. Means surface area. The second factor is surface area of liquid. And the third factor is the temperature. Fourth factor is humidity. And the fifth factor, which we shall discuss under the heading of factors affecting evaporation, is the wind speed. Here I would like to suggest you you read these factors from your book available with you. I shall discuss these all four factors in my next video. You please watch my all videos systematically in proper order, one after another, so that you can understand the subject matter with continuity. Dear student, please do not hesitate to ask your problems, any queries. You have freedom. I am giving you freedom to ask your problem either through the comments or on call. As per your requirement as you feel better. And one thing more, please share all these videos with your friends so that they can also get benefit.